Good morning, Highlands College. My name is Annalise, and I'm a second semester in the Global Ministry major. Y'all, I know we just came out of a really incredible hype worship song, so let's just breathe. Y'all, take a breather, breathe in, breathe out. Yes, it feels so good. And I'd love for y'all to just close your eyes with me. Breathe. And I'd love for y'all to think back on a moment where someone served you. And I don't mean held the door open or took your plate of trash. I mean a time when someone touched you, touched your heart, a time when someone wholeheartedly served you. Maybe in a time where you felt you didn't deserve it and you were confused. A time someone served you and it impacted you and it moved you. Hold on to that. Keep on to that thought as you open your eyes. For me, when I think back to a moment like that, I think back to a time in my life where I felt so unworthy of everything, of love, of time with someone. I felt like I was not worthy of being associated with anyone or being seen with anyone. I wanted to hide myself. I felt like I had no purpose being around other people. And it was in a moment and in a season like that where someone came and someone served me. Wholeheartedly served me out of the abundance of their heart. They served me and they loved on me and they made me feel cared for and seen. And I think if we're all honest, we can think of a time like that in our lives where someone did something and served us and it impacted us and it moved us and it opened our eyes to new things and to a new perspective about who God is. True servanthood. And when we think of servanthood, I think back to one of the most perfect pictures we have of what being a servant is. And that's in John 13 when we see the story of Jesus washing the disciples' feet. In this story, we see the disciples coming in for the Passover feast, and they're coming in with dirty feet. And they all know this, but no one wants to acknowledge it. No one says anything because no one wanted to wash their feet. Because who washed people's feet? Someone who was the lowest of the low, the bottom of the barrel. And the disciples didn't want to be seen as this. They didn't want to be seen as the lowest of the low. But in this story, we see Jesus, with no hesitation, take his garments off and wrap a towel around his waist, and he kneels down and he gets physically low and begins washing the disciples' feet. And they don't understand what's going on. They're questioning it. They don't understand why he would do such a thing, because he's the Messiah. He's the highest. He's sitting on the right hand of God. Why would he be washing their feet? And he tells them that he is giving them a perfect example. It says in verse 13, "You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you should also do just as I have done to you." He's telling us here that he's given us an example that we are to follow. A perfect example of what true servanthood is. And so we see Jesus here getting low, willing to get low with no hesitation, because he understands the depth and the importance of what true servanthood is and what it looks like. And so today, I just want to ask you, if you're willing to get low, if you're willing to get low to serve other people and to wash their feet, to someone who looks different than you, that speaks a different language than you, someone who has different beliefs than you, that has a different religion, someone who has disrespected you, someone who identifies differently than you, are you willing to wash their feet? Just like Paul, we see in 1 Corinthians 9, he's talking about how in order to reach the low, he became the low, and he served them. Because for Paul, servanthood was the marker of his faith, because he understood the depth of it. Because we have a perfect example given to us right here in his word. And so, as we go back into worship, I would love for y'all to just think about this story, and not only this, but of the greatest servant, of this perfect picture we have of what true servanthood is and what it means to get low. And I'd love for y'all to just reflect on that and think and pray to God, asking him, Lord, open my eyes to see moments where I can serve your people, where I can love on your people, times where I might have missed before. God, that you would be giving me eyes to see these opportunities to see your people and to love on them. So as we go back into worship, just think of him and of his character and of moments that he has served you.